Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga-Texas construction update video.
Hey everybody, it's Joe and I'm out here on an extremely cold day at Giga-Texas to start the first full week of January 2025. And I admit that it is quite cold today. It's about 19 degrees Fahrenheit, that's about -7 degrees Celsius. And it's also been a little windy too, so it really is kind of cold out here, but I was able to get a good flight in today and we get a chance to see quite a bit of activity. One of the interesting things is the Cybercab training or testing was continuing today. I saw that driving on the west side of General Assembly, and it was continuing to stop, do some simulated drop off and pick up of passengers, and then continue driving along. It was also followed by the ever-present black Model 3 with a similar sensor system that's doing a lot of the data collection while they're doing that testing. One other thing that I did see that you'll get a chance to get more to view in the actual video is over on the west side at the Cybertunnel. They are continuing to work on putting the stainless steel skin on that covering structure that looks like a giant Cybertruck. And they were also driving a Cybertruck in and out of that tunnel as they continue to prepare for that to become operational. And I got a chance to get some of those views. Here's a few short clips of that, a lot more in the main video as well. And there's a lot more to see, even though it is a very cold day here. Now, a couple other things I want to let you know about in the video intro. First of all, this is my last video this week at Giga-Texas. I'm going to be heading down to Starbase later this week for Flight 7 of Starship. On the way down, I plan on stopping at the Corpus Christi Lithium plant. Hopefully I'll get a chance to get some better and more updated video since my last video in the end of November. And we'll get a chance to see what progress is going on now that we're into 2025. In addition to that, hopefully we're going to get a lot of great views of the Starship launch down at Starbase. Flight 7 is a significant new test that's coming along, especially with the second generation of the Starship. And of course, I plan on being live streaming with Ellie in space down there for that event. So hopefully that'll happen later this week or into the weekend. And one other thing related to Flight 7 of the Starship, I did this short video. It's on my YouTube channel, and it talks a lot about some of the major changes coming up for Flight 7, what happened with the ship design, and then I go into the reentry aerodynamics of the ship and kind of give you a much better idea of what to expect, why they did those changes, and how the changes are going to affect the controllability, the lift and drag of the Starship, how that matches up with the center of gravity, center of pressure, and also relates that to a discussion Elon Musk had with Tim Dodd, the Air Day astronaut, about June of last year, talking about the design of the Starship. Also talk a little bit about the heat flux or the heat flow and how the new heat shield tiles are going to be tested, and they're trying to do this iterative development to come up with a almost fully reusable heat shield, which is going to be important as Starship continues to develop. So anyway, a lot going on this week for me, and we get a chance to see what Giga-Texas looks on this cold day, and then I'll be heading down south for the lithium plant and Starbase. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Take care.
If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are interested in Tesla products, you can help yourself and support me by using my referral code. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga-Texas. Well, good morning from a very cold Giga-Texas. The skies are nice and blue, but the winds are pretty high and the temperatures are low. And because of that, I'm going to stay up a little higher altitude on the east side. But while we're here, it's a nice look down at River Road next to that large pond and some of the equipment for the glass installers. Also, a nice current look at the multi-level parking garage. Still, the privacy fence is located on that ground level. Also, this field, which is surrounded now by the light posts, looks like the grass is getting pretty well established throughout that area. Don't see any testing that is on the roof, although I do see cones that are laid out for their test track. As we maneuver around the north side of the parking garage, just a nice overall view from this vantage point across the garage to the south. See that clearing just on the other side of the garage itself, and of course that pond, and quite a lot of vapors coming up off of the roof and the cooling plant because of the temperatures today. Now I'm going to continue to fly back towards that southeast corner, bringing the drone down to a lower altitude, and we can get a kind of a sense of the work that is going on here on the east side of the extension. The exterior panels have been stained. It looks like that work is completed, and it looks like they are getting ready to finish up the preparations for the glass here on the open section to close that in. And they're also working on that parapet wall, and we'll see that here closer in a moment. The plastic around the base of the cooling tower is kind of suffering with all the winds. As you can see, some of it pulling away. So I'm sure there'll be some repairs. It's similar to what we saw at the cooling plant by the cathode building. As I mentioned, the crews are installing the glass parapet wall now on this southeast corner. And that man lift is bringing up a couple of the workers so that they finish up the mounts on that section. Nice overall view of how the factory looks, and the glass south end with the lighting from this perspective. Now I'm applying a little later than normal, and that's because the temperatures were just so cold this morning. I was trying to get it to warm up a little. As we come back down, lower altitude here, this is a better view of the work that is going on with that glass parapet wall. You can see some of the glass on the ground ready for the lifting up so that they can finish off this kind of a facade that makes the building look like it's completely all one level, and it hides that roof line that is behind where that parapet wall will be installed. And a good view of the workers next to that glass to get an idea of the scale. Now on the south end, no changes with the paving that's going to go along this upper level of this 3-level of the terracing. And not really a lot of changes to speak of in this part of the site. So I'm going to continue to maneuver around the southwest corner, and we'll see that the glass crates that are mostly empty are still here waiting for disposal. That yellow item on the right on that trailer is that counterbalance jig that's used to pick up the glass with large suction cups. Pretty impressive considering how large and heavy the glass is. We do see some Cybertrucks lined up on the left-hand side of the screen, and then on the right side, this exit point. Looks like they are still doing some final work here. They have the lanes kind of divided out here coming out of the factory, but that wall on the right still needs to have that texture coating placed on, and then it stained white to match the rest of the building. Not a lot of activity at this time of the day here, where the Cybertrucks would be exiting the factory next to that temporary platform. But I'm going to bring the drone up to a higher altitude and kind of look towards the west, kind of get a nice sense of what that entire west side looks like today. And while I'm here, I'm going to come back to the south, bring the drone down near where that fork statue is located. And the reason why I'm doing this is that there is definitely some work that is being done in the upper right-hand side of the screen next to the bridge. See all that gravel, and it looks like there are utility crews that are busy in that section, probably doing something to do with the electrical system, where you see all these poles, and they may be getting ready to either add a pole or remove a pole. It looks like there's a couple poles on the ground, And I'm not sure at this point if those are new or if they are being replaced. So something I'll watch when I come back on my next flight. But overall, this is a great view from this southwest corner looking north at the main factory. Crews are very busy here at this new kind of sewage intercept station, and it looks like excavation work is being done on this circular area, and it looks like they're definitely going to be going down into the grade. Most likely that's what those brown and blue forms are going to be used for in this excavation. But this is what it looks like here today. And we see some additional items that have been delivered around that fenced area for that work. And both cranes are ready for that assembly. And while I'm here, I'm going to drop down lower, fly over where the natural gas pipeline was installed and get close to the Cybertunnel and that Cybertruck themed covering. Still waiting to see those 8 pilings on the left bottom of the screen. I think that's going to be for a sign. It also looks like there is some additional stainless steel on the ground next to the base of the Cybertunnel and on the ground. And look at this, a Cybertruck just emerged from the Cybertunnel itself. It looks like they are continuing to do some testing of vehicles coming in and out of the tunnel. And this one is going to go back into the tunnel, and I'll keep the view on it and get a good idea of what it looks like with a Cybertruck down inside that tunnel. So pretty cool and fortunate timing to be able to show you that. And as I was mentioning, a lot more of the stainless steel on the ground, still waiting for its turn to be installed along the sides of this Cybertunnel covering. And nice view to the upper part of the screen where we go over this clearing. And it looks like there's some materials that are being loaded into these containers right now. And some steel items have been delivered as well. So we might start seeing some construction of some structure in this area. The 8 tent structures over the superchargers look like it's a very busy day here today. A lot of them are Cybertrucks, but we do also see many of the Model Ys, and that is also something that we will see throughout the outbound lot today, as there's a pretty good mix of both the Model Ys and the Cybertrucks along this entire section. I do not see any of the refresh Model Ys. These all appear to be the original version that had been built here for the last couple of years. So still going to be waiting to find out when that changeover happens. And hopefully that'll be here in the next few months. We do see that some of the Cybertrucks that were stationed up here on the north part of the outbound lot in my previous video have been moved off site. So we know that the transporters have been busy. We're also putting some of the new Model Ys up in this area as well. Now the north end of the end of line facility has got some of the Model Ys entering in for final processing. And we also see that grassed area in front of that cafeteria with those yellow kind of dividers there. That is recently added as they've been finishing up some of the landscaping. So I'm going to prepare to go back over the road, and we'll continue on the other side of the highway. Nice display of some of the Cybertrucks on the left next to the flagpoles. And as I fly up over the west main entrance to the exit point for the Model Ys, there's only one right now, but I did see a lot of them coming out of the factory. But I'm going to change to a different perspective and show you that just after this, I caught a Cybercab doing testing, and here it is being followed by that black Model 3, which has its own sensor packages that are being used to validate the data and the training testing that is going on for the Cybercab. It does these simulated passenger drop-off and pickup points, and also a good view of some of the Model Ys leaving the factory. And this continued up to the north along the west side of the factory and around to the north end. And then, of course, the testing continued. So it was great to be able to show you that. And now we come back to this part of the video where we take up where we left off at that Model Y exit point, continue to the north along this side of the building. And one of the things that I'm trying to maneuver over towards is to take a look at this new entryway with the staircase and the accessibility ramps. It looks like they've got that opening covered over with the plastic, probably because of the temperatures. But this is a great look at the concrete work and how this entire new structure appears today. Now, also, while I'm here, wanted to take a look at what is going on with the battery cell can recycling from the 4680 production here in this part of the factory. You can see these blue bins, and they mostly look empty right now. So either they've just been emptied out or they have not been doing much of the recycling. Either way, it's something I'll continue to watch. Also, while I'm here, I wanted to bring the drone back up and let's get a good update on what's going on with the roof repairs here. Now on the south end, you can see those bright white lines. This is where they've reattached or re-glued the weatherproof membrane and then did some of the seams. And up here towards the north, passing where some of the workers have their tool chests, we see work underway, continuing to repair all the seams of this part of the roof where the weatherproof membrane has been dislodged, and they've been using bricks to hold it down. There were some leaks, and that has been, as far as I know, repaired. And with these repairs, this is to get the weatherproof membrane finalized so that they no longer have to use all these bricks. So a nice, good view of this work that is continuing on this part of the factory. I did notice that there is a truck delivering some more items here near where the plastics manufacturing part of the factory is located. And it looks like there's about 6 wooden crates and 3 smaller bundles. Really hard to tell for sure what this delivery is that is being made here on the north end. Also, as I pivot back towards the handling and storage lot for the castings, we can see that it's about 50% full, more or less. And a lot of them are in the rack mounts as well. So this is showing that they are continuing to make the castings and then use this storage spot before they are used for production. I also see more of the casting racks on the ground here and near where the ground concrete has been poured recently, where those 3 openings are in that north face of the building. We also see more castings being stored along this northeast side, and of course the work on the open vaults on the right where the cables are being prepared for connection with the ones on the roof, following the parapet wall down for the Cortex supercomputer cluster. As we round the corner, the melt plant looks like most of that steel work is completed. They are working more on the baghouse filtration plant in the upper part of the screen, but as I bring the drone down lower, we see some more of the materials on the ground, and work with the furnace loading machine continues. And almost all of the assembly for the various items and parts of that loading system appear to be completed, at least from what I can tell. And you can see that large loading, almost like a bucket on the front, as they get ready for this to become operational. As I mentioned, more work on the baghouse filtration plant, especially down near that tank on the ground. And as I come up to a higher altitude, I'll give you a bird's eye view down to what the baghouse filtration plant looks like right now, especially with some of those large pipes and the kind of the strainers that are used to get rid of some of the larger items coming in from the airflow before it makes its way into the filters themselves. So while we're at this part of the site, I'm going to continue to fly up over Tesla Road. Sorry about that. And we'll come back down and look at the work that's going on the south end of the switch yard, What we do see is this graded area is continuing to get more of the screw type piers, while there's also work on the south end with that underground water management system. And a nice view across the site towards the Megapack sites that was established and operational last year. And this is a nicer, closer in view of what this area looks like, with a lot more of those piers that have been installed into the ground. And it looks like with some of the materials being stored nearby, there's going to be a lot more installed, at least down the center, in the near future. Up here next to these three control trailers, the one on the right is the newest of the three and was added in here just a few months ago. We do see workers exiting or entering into that open vault underneath those trailers. And in addition to that, we see some trench work near the steel items that have been erected just south of the transformer, and a nice overall view of how this system is coming together, with most of the work here on the south end at the moment. And the A-frame structures with the high tension wires appear to have all of that installed, as well as the V-type circuit breakers that are on the ground. And as I pull away, a nice overall view of the electrical switchyard and that clearing on the south and how it looks in relation to the main factory. So let's get ready and fly back over towards the battery cathode plant and take a look at the work that's going on there today. There's a lot of employee cars around the battery cathode plant, which is a great sign as they continue to do work in this plant to make the cathode materials for the 4680s. Not a lot of change over the Wade pit, and the crash test facility looks like it's not all that busy here today on this Monday morning. Partially could be because of the temperatures as well. It's really hard to tell. There's not a lot of activity that I can see on the north end, and the vehicles that are kind of parked along that black fence seem to be the ones that have been there for some time. So not a lot of really big change. Now we do see some workers over next to that white trailer with that red and white item. Sometimes we see vehicles being unloaded. Did not get a chance to take a closer look at that here today. The materials at the bottom of the screen still waiting for installation. A nice look across the parking lots to the main factory, and then here where Tesla Road is being expanded. And as I continue to maneuver the drone around, we'll get ready to fly down the alleyway between the die shop and the battery cathode plant. And it looks like there's at least a forklift with some items being prepared to be moved in to that office section. The chiller plant appears to be functional today. The vaporizers do have condensation along the midsection and the bottom of the each of those kind of like shiny steel tubular items next to the white tanks. And of course the white or clear plastic along the base of the chiller plant has been repaired. It looks like its repairs are doing well and holding up to all the winds that we are seeing. As I maneuver around the west side, I'll look back to the north part of the die shop. Some of the items that are waiting for installation here on this end next to that exterior furnace. And then as I maneuver to the right, we're going to see a lot of the rebar that has been recently delivered. This is all part of a big rework of a slab on the inside of the die shop. It's going to be just on the left-hand side behind the wall. And this is a lot of the materials that are going to be used to help build out that very heavily reinforced slab from what I can tell. Now, of course, the die shop is where they do maintenance, testing, and repair of the dies used in the giant gigapresses in the factory, and this gives Tesla an advantage because they have their own die shop right on site. So they don't have to ship things off or rely on third parties to do the repairs or even do new designs of the dies. So that'll bring us to an end of the video here on the 6th of January, a very cold day at Giga-Texas. I hope you enjoyed what we were able to see. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be heading down to Starbase very soon. Take care.